All right, so we're going to start section 1 talking about common reasons for writer's block. Now, I promise you, if you've written anything, you've probably had some experience with writer's block. Don't worry, you're not alone. You're not the first, you're not going to be the last, but we are going to take a look at some of the top 10 reasons for getting writer's block and see if we can find a way to kick it to the curb. So number 1, fear of failure. Getting in your own head and being afraid that you're going to screw it up, that it's not going to be good, that people won't like it. Those things are going to plague your mind. You're going to think you suck, but you don't. Even if you're not a solid writer yet, your mind knows your story. So you're not going to suck at your story because it's your story. In fact, you're the only person who can do it right. So you're not going to fail. Don't worry about the details yet. Just start getting it out onto paper. Number 2, perfectionism. Now, this is a lot like the fear of failure because perfectionism is where you have to make it perfect. You have to make just exactly what all the right grammar, all the right, everything that I'm telling you, everything has to be perfect. But if you don't start somewhere, you'll never get good. You'll never become great. You'll never reach perfection. You probably won't anyway, because perfection is not really ever perfect. But you have to start somewhere. So start. Don't hold yourself back. Number 3, lack of inspiration. Now, this is one of those things that sometimes you just, you can't figure out what to write about. You just don't know. You're not inspired. And it can cause a lot of really major roadblocks for a lot of writers. But finding a writing community and throwing ideas off of each other, looking for like writer prompts and stuff like that, that can help you find some inspiration. Sometimes just literally chatting with someone about something, your mind will start being like, oh yeah, I could write about that. And then you're just instantly inspired. So don't assume that a momentary lack of inspiration means that you have writer's block. It's just a moment. It's just a quiet minute in your head. Embrace that quiet every now and then. But then if it's lasted too long, just go out there and start talking to people. Talk about some ideas, and then things will spur up and you'll get back on track. Number 4, distractions. Distractions really contribute to writer's block in that it's hard to focus if the phone is buzzing, your roommate won't stop talking, your belly's growling, whatever it is. Turn off all the distractions before you sit down, and it's still going to take you a few minutes to get going, but as long as you've got all the distractions gone, it should start flowing for you. Number 5, procrastination. Now, procrastination is another common cause of writer's block for people because you feel like you have all the time in the world. Oh yeah, I need to do this, but I'll do it later because I want to talk to someone right now, or I want to watch a show right now, or I'm just tired. I just want to have a nap right now. And so you think you've got all the time in the world until you don't. And then you're under the gun because then you're basically going to have to do this crappy attempt. I'm trying to buffer my words here, but you're going to do a crappy attempt at rushing through something because you didn't plan ahead, you procrastinated, and you let yourself fill your time with things that didn't matter in the big scheme of your writing. So number 6, burnout. Burnout is one of those things, because writing can be exhausting at times, mentally draining, especially when you're doing a memoir. You could be going through a lot of emotions as you're experiencing and reflecting on the things that you've been through. And it's very real. So if you feel like you're burning out, it's not that. What I would recommend is, just take short breaks. Get up and walk away. Call a friend, go to lunch, turn on some movie previews. I'll like go to my movie website and I'll just put on some trailers, and that'll kind of get my mind going, and I'll be like, oh, that would be a funny book if I did this and this, only this different, or something like that. Just give yourself a good distraction that takes away and replenishes you. Number 7, lack of structure. And as an organized person who used to be extremely disorganized, I can tell you lack of structure is something that haunts a lot of people, because if you don't have a clear plan or a structure for your writing, you're gonna like either be squirrel, or you're never gonna start. You need to start with an outline or have a written plan and a schedule. You don't have to have other people where you're answering to them about your schedule, but answer to yourself about it. And as long as you've got your structure, your plan, and your outline, I believe that you're going to do much better with this. Now, other people, they're called pantsers. Other people might disagree and say that you don't need an outline or you don't need a structured plan, but I suspect that those people probably finish fewer books. I don't know. I'm not making an accusation, but I suspect you can probably create more completed books if you stick to a plan. So lack of structure is no bueno. Number 8, self-doubt. Now, again, we're going kind of back to the beginning where we're talking about fear of failure and stuff, but self-doubt's a little bit different. Fear of failure is more about, what if I fail? But maybe you believe in yourself. But in number 8, we're talking about, you may not know that you're a good writer. You may think, yeah, I can come up with the story, or yeah, I can share my story, and obviously it's mine. So you may think, yeah, I can do this, but I can't do that. I'm no good at this. But the reality is you are good enough. Tell that voice in your head to hush and just keep writing. If you need an editor, if you need, someone to help you cleaning it up afterwards, then that's okay. A lot of people do that. You don't have to be perfect at everything. Just get your story out. People are out there. They will help you get it finished. So don't worry about that part. Number 9, overthinking. Just in life in general, overthinking is a real enemy to a lot of people. But we tend to overthink about things. We make them much more complicated than they need to be. And that creates writer's block in itself. It prevents us from even getting started. You look at this blank paper or blank screen and you're like, oh man, but what if I do this? No, I don't know. What if I do that? And then, but if I do this, then that, then that, then that. And you're just like, all of a sudden you're confused, you're overwhelmed, and you're just like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. And that's overthinking. And again, let's go back to, if you have a plan, if you have an outline, you're not going to be overthinking in that area. Very, very important in my opinion. And then finally, number 10, comparisonitis. Comparisonitis, obviously I think it's a made up word, but it's another cause of writer's block. You may feel like, so I'm going to compare myself to this author or this author or that author, if I'm J.K. Rowling's, or if I'm, whoever it is, you're not that person. You're not. So stop comparing yourself to them, be you, be who you are, and let them compare themselves to you after you've hit your bestseller. You may never have a bestseller. You may only share your story with one person, a handful of people, but you need to get that story out of you, and you need to start somewhere. So whether your goal is, to stay close and share it only with those special people to you, or if it's to be a bestseller that you share with the entire world in multiple languages, either way, that's fine. But stop comparing yourself to everybody else, because all that really matters is it's your story. You're telling it, and you're the only one who can truly tell your story the best. All right, so going back through, remember, writer's block is a common challenge. Identifying why you're stopping your writing is your first step to fixing it. So take a deep breath. Let's get those creative juices flowing and get out there.